Yo, what's poppin', Bagel Bros, and welcome back to another Patreon rant. If you want one of these for yourself, be sure to give me $10 on Patreon. This one comes from Baka the Fool, who says, rant about how there's no nightlife in the Midwest US, unless you live in a city, except for drinking down at the local bar and how that sucks in and of itself. So I am saying this as someone who does live in the Midwest. I live in Illinois, in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. I'm a fucking country bumpkin. And you know what? I don't actually dislike it here that much. I like being able to go on walks outside and just, see the empty vastness. Bike rides are really fun. Just finding random nooks or I can, when I write, oftentimes I'm writing under a bridge or in, some random fuck off cops somewhere. It's great. There are some great things about living here that I do quite like. And I've been living in the middle of nowhere for the past few years because I used to live in a town a fair bit bigger than what I live in now, although still a pretty small town overall. Now I live in a place with like a minuscule amount of people. I'm trying not to be specific about population sizes here so as to not dox myself. And there's definitely less community. And I think this can tie into a broader point, because even back in the day, like back in probably the 90s, even a place like where I am right now probably had more of a sense of community. But the advent of the internet has kind of destroyed any places to socialize that aren't literally a bar. Like bars, people still go to them. They like getting drunk. You can still talk to people at bars, and it's, kind of cozy or whatever. But in any other context, I think it's twofold. One, more people are spending more time at home due to technology. This is objective. It's factual. People just spend all their time in their room because you can have infinite entertainment in your room, so why go out and talk to people? Why touch grass, as they say? But I think the other half of it is that technology weirdly conditions you to be antisocial. You spend so long interfacing with people through a screen where it's impersonal. Even if you're talking to people online, which is the best way to use technology, it still does have an inherent loss of personalness. And then when you spend so much time engaging with them through Twitter is an artificial construct where human interaction is boiled down to these minuscule tweets, yes, but also everyone acts strange on Twitter. They don't act like they do in real life. Especially in terms of empathy, people are a lot meaner online in general, especially through avenues like Twitter. Whereas, when you're interfacing with someone in real life, even if they've done something, wrong, it's like on Twitter you say, fuck you, kill yourself, and in real life you say, yeah, but you did something wrong, and that's okay. Here, let me give you, let me help you buck up or whatever. There's a stark difference, all right. And so it's this weird, two-prong issue that fucks us, that makes it so nobody talks to each other, especially nobody goes on dates unless it's through a dating app. Nobody knows each other. And you really feel that in a lot of ways, it's completely abnormal now to actually talk to someone in public. The assumed default is that nobody ever wants to be talked to or interfaced in any way whatsoever. At least that's the way that I feel about it. And I don't like that I feel that way about it. You just kind of stay in your lane and look at your phone and do nothing. Or, do just the task that you are trying to do. It's depressing. It sucks. It's shit, but also, it's the same in both, being in the Midwest and living in a city. Because at least my perspective on it is that I live relatively close to a city, even if even if my actual town has no people in it. There's still a city relatively nearby within reasonable driving distance. And so I can have that sort of nightlife if I go out to the city. It's more work, and with gas prices, it's not necessarily the most advisable idea, but you can do it. And I feel like most people are somewhat reasonably within driving distance to a city, unless you're somewhere like New Mexico or way out there, where it's like in those places there is genuinely like you can live somewhere where you're an hour away from a fucking population. Like that is possible, but I feel like for a lot of people it's not quite that stranded. But even if you are in the city, like due to the way society is nowadays, it's harder to have that sort of genuine sense of community and, sense of being able to interface with other people. It just sucks all around. Yeah, that's about it. See you.